Hey, Jennifer.
You.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I have to change my name.
Can you tell me what you see?
The April 2020 APB meeting.
Okay. Uh-oh, I've got my live streaming going on in the background and I got to figure out how to turn the volume off.
Yeah, I can hear it. Hi, Casey.
There we go.
So should I put that that live stream link on the Facebook page?
Yep, that's the one that people will be able to get on if they want to participate as far as watching and seeing what's going on.
Okay.
But interesting, once I share my screen with everybody, some of my functionality goes away.
Well, look, you are the thumbnail for the live stream.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, it's just a still shot of you on the camera.
Great.
I don't know if there's another way to change it or not, but I don't know if it's the moment that it grabs it.
Well, what I did was I stopped sharing my screen. And once I share my screen, it'll probably take that back. But the interesting thing is once I do the PowerPoint where you just show this, then I can't see anything else that's going on and people disappear.
Okay.
So
Then your screen sharing settings, and it probably says don't interrupt screen. You know how you can say let it be interrupted by messaging or whatever. And
hey, Paige.
Hi. How goes it? Uh-oh. All right, let me see if I can't figure out how to change this because I can only see Deanne.
At the very upper right hand side, there's above my image, you should
There's like a gallery view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there though, because that's what I normally have for immigration Zooms. I see mute, stop video, share content, participants, maybe.
If you click right above.
Oh, am I showing up as Josh Saylor?
Yep, yes, you are.
I had to change my name as well.
Let me fix that.
There, I'll rename you.
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
There you go.
And then more, maybe more meeting settings. Let me try that. Ooh, touch up my appearance. What does that do? Let's do that.
Where'd you find that? Oh, and more?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my jacket on again.
I did something. Okay. Now I can see Jennifer and Casey.
For my, I can't figure out how to make it not look so dark in here. Like, I'm in the-
I don't see the touch-up appearance at all on mine, so you must just be lucky.
Well,
No,
there's the
Jeff,
three,
that's the first thing I would look
three
for.
dots that say more, and then when I did that, that's where the hand clapping and the thumbs up are, and then under that there's chat, and then under that there's meeting settings. And when I clicked that, there's like it brings up a menu that's got choices, and touch up appearance was a choice. So I don't know if it worked, but
You look beautiful.
It did.
let's see.
You look just as beautiful as you did before.
It's so tiny,
Thanks.
fuzzy. Like it made you look like, I wonder if that's, like it made it a little bit, feathery.
Yeah, like Snapchat. I love
Yeah.
Snapchat because it's like, ooh, I look pretty in this. I don't need makeup for this picture. It's not a real picture, but whatever, it's fine.
This is me when I was 17, but who cares?
Right.
Hi, Riley. Oh, I guess she changed it to Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa.
That happened.
Oh, what happened?
My name is the right name.
It
It
said
changed it for you.
Riley. It said Riley when you logged on.
I know. It did that. I don't know how to change it. It just did it.
Deanne changed it for you.
Thank you.
That must be like the way premium version. Because mine does nothing voluntarily.
Well, I do kind of have an enterprise version.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, what? My little $15 version isn't doing anything for me.
And Vanessa, I just made you a co-host. So
Okay.
you should have some.
Something.
I think you have the right now to kind of mute and remove people.
Oh, okay.
And then you should be able to also share your screen if you want to.
Okay. I don't have anything up to share it, but
Yours is nice. So I can raise my hand. There's a yes and a no. Go slower, go faster. Huh.
go faster, go slower. Whoa.
It's all under the, if you click on the participants, the little two people at the bottom and you pop it up, there's all sorts of,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, there's the more button that I couldn't find at the last one.
Yeah.
Well, all I can do is take a break, but or like or dislike or clap. Go away. Oh, please. I've already told you like 5 times to go. Go. Go.
Please let that happen at 5:47.
Ah.
I left.
You didn't. You're being rude. Please go.
I love you too.
She's like, I don't want you to have a meeting. I was like, that's a shame.
Yeah.
We're having one.
Vanessa and Deanne, just so you have a heads up, I have asked for some more clarification on the pictures so that I could have answered your questions. And she's answered me some, but then it opened up more questions. So she's looking into those. And once I get information back from her, then I will give that information to you.
You seriously need to stop.
I'm on YouTube.
Go.
I'm on YouTube though.
You're going to get grounded.
On YouTube.
Are you laughing at me over here?
No, yes.
Because you're the co-host here, so I think the things are
I'm used to it. I could just see her. I could see her say it. I'm used to it.
Hi, Mindy. Hi, Mindy.
How do you see all the people at one time? Is that a thing? Oh.
I don't think you can when the screen is shared.
Yeah, you have to scroll down with your little arrows to.
I see.
I unmuted. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hey, Vanessa, if you pull the PowerPoint over to the left a little bit, you will be able to see everybody who's on here.
If I do what?
So if you, are you in this, what view are you in? Speaker view or gallery view?
I'm in maybe gallery view.
So there is a gray line if you hover over between everybody's picture on the right side
Okay.
and the PowerPoint.
I don't know. The PowerPoint on mine is the whole background.
It is on mine too.
It's because
I
Deanne
can't.
set it up. Deanne
Yeah.
didn't you?
Oh, because we're looking at her screen.
Right,
Yeah.
we're looking at her
Yeah.
screen, so she would have to fix that.
Oh.
But
So when
if
she
you-
stops,
I think I could exit full screen mode and then my video might do something. Oh, yeah, okay.
Here, there.
Now there's no PowerPoint.
So now there's no PowerPoint, it's just us.
Mhm.
yeah. So when you do that, you should be able to switch to gallery view. But if she's sharing her screen, then we won't be able to see everybody.
Gotcha.
You can, if you close down the participants in the chat window and make it big, then you can see everybody on the lower right side. But if you have the participants in chat window open, you can't see the gallery view, the background, and all of that at the same time.
Snacks.
Now it says live on YouTube as well now.
Yes, so we have one person watching. So I actually have my screen open in the background.
Is it a different link than the one that I sent out?
It's the link that I just emailed everyone.
I posted it on Facebook, the one that Deanne just sent out.
Okay, so I can get to it that way.
You know where some scissors
Because I was
are?
following. Oh, there we go.
You know where scissors are?
Maybe. No, I don't know where scissors are, and this is a meeting. Please go. Pretend I'm not home.
You're home.
You're going to make me angry. Go. Oh, what did I just do now? Now I lost it.
So now we have two people. So did somebody try to?
I am looking at it
Okay.
because I wanted to see, like Daryl's instructions said that if they go to our channel and go to the videos, they should be able to see whatever we're live streaming. So that is kind of concerning to me that that is not working, how he said it's going. I am looking at it.
I'm on it. I'm on it too.
Because I wanted to see.
So can you see all of us on the live stream?
I can see you if I click Deanne's live stream, but if I do it the way that Daryl told us to do it and publish it, there's nothing there.
So I'm going to stop my video.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go on our website and try to get the link published to the calendar and the news announcement about the meeting tonight so people can click there.
Okay.
So.
Paige, are you dancing to music?
No, I'm reading the minutes, so I can tell you some things, and I'm just making sure I don't lose anything. But I just figured I'd beat out.
Have your own music.
Talking to yourself.
Yeah, all the voices in my head that have been acquiring a space over the last month. Yeah, they're coming out. Coming out. Sorry, we watch Trolls too, so.
Do you think Deb remembered about the meeting? Has anyone heard from her?
I don't know, but I group texted you all, so if nothing else, she should have seen the text.
just recently?
Like 10 minutes ago, maybe.
Yeah.
As a text? Because I didn't get a
Yeah.
text.
Yeah.
Really? I got it.
Paige answered my text. Paige
I
got
did.
I did not get a text.
Oh, that's because you aren't on the list of the people that she
What?
texted. She left you out.
I just did the same group one we've been texting in. That means
Well, I don't think
Jennifer
Jennifer's
hasn't
been
gotten
getting
any
them
of
then.
them.
Maybe that's why you referenced something that Deanne had said, and I'm like, I don't
What are you
remember her
talking
saying
about?
that ever.
Well, that would make sense. Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
weren't in this, you didn't know that we did a test Zoom on Monday.
Nope,
did
because she
not.
wasn't there, and I was like, I wonder why Jennifer's
I
not
know.
here because
I
she
was
said
like, she
in her
must be
email that
busy.
she could do it.
No, got no information.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, she's not on the list.
But is Deb on the
Everybody
list?
else is. Everybody else is.
Yes, Deb is on the list.
Just not Jennifer.
Well, I can text her separately real quick and say, meeting, remember.
I think you can go up to the top of that list and add her to that group as well if you wanted to, Jennifer.
Yeah, so Daryl's instructions about public posting, it says the school YouTube link can be posted to your school's website and or Facebook page and or sent out through school messenger. The public can then view your live stream Zoom APC meeting when they go to your YouTube channel on the videos tab. But when I do that, there are no videos on the videos tab.
So those of you that are viewing it on the live stream, did you go to the link that Deanne sent out through the email?
I can get that way.
I did that before I came onto the Zoom and I could see you guys. But I got off of it because then I
My
can
lips were moving on the video, but my lips weren't
the
moving.
video.
Yeah.
He said there's about a 1 minute delay for the streaming. He was saying that if we had to go into executive session, you would want to be watching it so you know when it shuts off, so you don't just continue executive session when people can see. That's weird. Okay.
Okay, so I have updated the calendar view and the news stream on our website with the links, so people just have to click on there. If anybody wants to try those from the homepage on our website to see if it works, that might be helpful. And then Jennifer already put it on the PTO's Facebook page. So right now I only see 2 people viewing, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get anyone who really wants
We
to
had
watch.
0 people sign up for public comment and I got no emails, so.
Yeah.
What?
So my
Is it on
post,
for the-
my post is still pending approval on the Facebook page. It hasn't gone live.
Hold please. Deb is working on finding Zoom on the computer or something. She just said.
Did you send out the agenda? I saw the minutes, but I'm not finding the agenda.
It came
Before
last
the minutes.
week
Yeah.
on
And
Thursday.
if you got
I
any
think.
group lines I sent, there were 2 that had the agenda.
It's also on our website.
Okay, I can get to the meeting from the link on the website.
Okay.
And I'm checking it off the Facebook. I assume it will work. Yep. It works from Facebook too.
Yay.
Okay, I can get to the meeting from the link on the website.
Okay.
And I'm checking it off the Facebook. I assume it will work.
It's working.
Yep.
So what you have to do if you're actually watching it on your YouTube is to go to the bottom of the video and actually turn the volume off so that you don't hear the repeat a
I was
minute
like,
later.
wait, that sounds like me. What just happened?
Link on the website. Okay. And I'm checking it off the Facebook. I assume it will work.
What? It's working.
What is happening?
Why is it all echoing over and over?
It's repeating itself over and over. Okay, do we think it's functioning well enough so we can call to order?
I think so.
Okay.
Do we want to wait for Deb or just
Oh,
go
right.
ahead?
Hold on. Let me see exactly what she said. She's trying to find her husband because he has the computer with Zoom on it.
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, she's in the waiting room. It looks like it's connecting her still. Deb, are you connected to the meeting?
I can see you guys.
You can see us?
I don't know why you can't see me.
You're a very nice blue screen.
Yeah.
Do we want to go ahead and start? Deb, are you okay with starting? Even
Yeah,
though
I'm fine with starting. I don't know why. I want to
we
wait.
can hear
It
you,
says
so
you're
that's good.
connected, so, yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and call to order at 5:56. Does anyone have anything they want to revise or prioritize on the agenda? If none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I will do that. I will motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Do we have to do a verbal roll call vote if we can't see Deb, or do like everybody raise their
You want me
hand?
to bump out and bump back in?
Sure, if you want to try it real quick.
That helps.
While she's doing that, you can all look over the minutes from the last couple meetings.
So Jennifer, on the Tuesday, March 3rd minutes, I saw a couple of different things. Underneath the approved minutes part, it says that I made a motion to approve minutes they are.
Oh. Yes.
Mine are all grammar because I'm not good
That's
at
fine.
anything else. So, and then under the principal report, not that it is a super big deal, but David's last name is Merrill.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I've been spelling it wrong all these years. Hopefully we spelled it correct in the yearbook.
And I'm pretty sure that when we are talking about the science curriculum, that edition, like Diamond Edition, is part of the title. So technically edition would need to be capitalized, I think.
You got
Mindy can correct me if I'm wrong, and that's like 3 places. Like where it says 2010 Diamond Edition. But that's a minor. I don't know if you care about that or not, but that's all I saw.
Anybody have a comment on the addition? Deanne?
Hold on. Is Cammy is David's mom?
We have it's MERRELL in Q.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Because that's how she sent it to me when she sent me her stuff. Woo.
Her Facebook is MERRELL.
Okay, then I will retract my correction. I apologize.
All good.
That's how she sent it to me. So let me just change it in my thing before I mess something else up.
As far as the 2010 Diamond Edition, anybody capital, lowercase for E for edition?
I believe it would be capitalized.
Would it be the same for the 2003 edition as well?
Deb, we see you.
Well, when you're writing it, when you say 2003 edition, you're not making it a title. But when you say Scott Forsman 2010 Diamond Edition, you're titling it out. So that's why I said that it would need to be capitalized. But when you have 2003, you don't have it as Scott Forsman 2003 whatever edition. So I think that one's fine.
And I found it 3 different places.
I think that's how many times I saw it too.
And then I'll do the same thing on the Friday, March 6th, because I did it the same way.
I think that's all I saw.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything on those? If not, can someone move to approve as revised?
I motion to approve the minutes as revised.
I'll second.
And is that both of the
All in
minutes?
favor? No, this is just the March
Yeah.
3rd meeting minutes.
Okay.
Was that all in favor? How do I see all these people on one screen? Oh, I
Cindy,
see it now.
yes.
Okay, I got it. All right.
So because I'm writing, I'm not going to be able to look up and see. So if somebody's not, if you could verbally say it, that way because I may not catch it in a glance
Okay.
if we're motioning something.
Okay. On to approving the March 6th special meeting minutes.
I think she's changing the addition part of that one as well.
If no one has anything besides that, can I get a motion to approve as revised?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as revised.
I'll second.
All in favor? Everyone said yes. The motion passes. Okay, on to public input. I did not have anyone sign up and I did not have anyone email me. I don't know if anyone else got any emails about anything.
I did not.
All right, then no public comment. PTO update. PTO has not met since March. We're meeting tomorrow, so no update to give yet. But we're gonna figure out what we're closing out and everything tomorrow, so. principal report.
Did everybody get my report on Monday? And had a chance to take a look at it? Are there any questions? Comments?
I guess, although we have approved the minutes, just that one little sentence or two was fine in the minutes for the blue ribbon nomination. Because you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Under the principal report last
You
time.
didn't want it to be put out there, but it was discussed. So she's asking if it's okay that she put a couple sentences about it to reflect what was discussed in the meeting.
It says we are a National Blue Ribbon School nominee. Application due by April 6th.
You could write that the application deadline was extended to April 24th.
Well, but we didn't know that at that meeting though.
Yeah.
But that was okay to leave in the minutes last time. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you said it's extended to April 24th?
April 24th, yeah.
And do we need to do anything specific, or are you taking care of that mostly? I know that we were gonna have some people reading over some of the stuff. I'm just not sure if like I'm supposed to be doing anything for that, or if people are on top of that.
Hold on for 1 second. I'm going to close my door because I hear dogs coming.
Okay.
Jennifer, yeah, there are people on it. We've been working on it very hard this week. So.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready to, as soon as I get some emails from teachers, Mindy's been working on some sections. Missy's been working on some sections of the application. Janet's also volunteered to do a couple of sections. And I'm hopeful that I can send a draft of the application to Jennifer, or not Jennifer, but Vanessa, and to look over. And Missy, were you able to see if you had any other maybe people that want to do an external
Yes.
review of it before we?
Lynn Neeson, one of our founders, said she would be happy to do it. Take a look at it, read over it. And then Vanessa, would your mom be willing to also?
Yeah.
There is one section that I'm going to need a little bit of help on. And that is the very last section that says strategies for academic success. And so I've been waiting to get all of the other sections that we've been putting together to make sure that we're not repeating everything that we've already said in the application. One of the things when you go onto the National Blue Ribbon Schools website and you look at other schools' applications and the information that they shared, there's not a lot of repeat of what goes on, but there's a lot of information. So we're going to have to decide strategically in which sections do we want to talk about certain aspects of how we provide our instruction and our remediation and support for students. And that is the very last section.
I have 3 of my 4 sections done. I'm hoping to have the 4th one done either late tonight or early tomorrow.
Awesome.
And then I'll get it to you.
My sections are done, but my head is spinning because that's all I've been doing for 2 days and rereading and revising. I'm ready to be done. So I will probably send mine tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay. That is awesome. Casey, would you like to do a review since you're new to the school and you'll be seeing all of that information brand new, to see how it flows and if it really makes sense to someone who's not familiar with our program, because sometimes when you're really familiar with something, you sometimes leave things out because you assume people know what we're talking about.
No, that'd be great. And I actually worked at the Blue Ribbon School in Austin, Texas quite a bit. So maybe that'll finally come in handy.
Okay, anything else on principal's report that
I
isn't already an agenda item?
I had a question about the grant, under the science curriculum. It says 12 IPVO document cameras. So were those obtained through grant funds? Because I think at one point we were looking at purchasing and funding those, but you were able to get a grant to do that. Is that what that means?
Tamara was able to speak to the state and the district grant person to get approval to use that for, we worded it as use for science experiments and things. So yeah, all of that money will be taken out of the grant fund for that. So when you look at our budget, the budget general ledger that I sent you, and there's some sections in the red, those were things, the cameras were part of that. So we ordered 10 for the classrooms and then 2 to have in case something happens to those, just some extra on the side. So we actually had about $4,000 left in the grant funds after everything was said and done. All of the textbooks were purchased. Teachers were asked to submit requests for supplies. So we were also able to get permission to use it for supplies, not just the textbooks.
Awesome.
On that, I had sent you and Tamara an email before about all the things, because I had talked to Missy about all the parts that the teachers would need too, besides just a text and a teacher edition for any of the like consumable stuff that's not necessarily called a student workbook. There were other names of it too. Were we able to get all of that as well?
Not all of that was available. A lot of the things that she purchased were on Amazon. So what we could get, she was able to, for some classroom grade levels, there might not be all of those components.
Deanne, on your report, it said that MAP and Peaks were canceled. Fast Bridge, I'm assuming it was canceled also?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also you reference the Chromebooks being loaned out to families for COVID closure. On the report, it does say COVID. I don't know if you care if you're posting this somewhere, if you want to make that change. But I just wonder, is there any idea of how things are going from the staff perspective of doing everything online for the educational aspect and school morale, just because we don't have it necessarily anywhere else on the agenda, but it's kind of referenced there.
I've been in contact with about maybe 15 parents for various reasons. Some of them were for wanting to re-enroll or at least make sure that their student spots were safe, because now with the COVID situation, a lot of those summer transfers are being postponed, or there's a possibility of those being postponed. So they wanted to make sure that their kiddos didn't lose their seats, which they don't until they don't return in the fall. So, and then also we had some of those families with incoming kindergarteners who hadn't put their students in the lottery because before everything happened, they really were expecting to be transferred out in the summer. So we've worked with the lottery program to make sure that those kids have some slots held up at the beginning before we offered positions to other families. And then I haven't had any negative feedback from any of the families that I've interacted with via email or phone calls. But Mindy and Missy can probably share in detail their experiences.
No sharing.
The first week was okay. It was a little difficult getting everyone up and going. I think my saving grace was that my students had already used Google Classroom, so they were familiar with it. It was just learning a few new things, like how to scan a document using your smartphone, and then how to get it into your Google Drive, and then get it into Google Classroom where I can find it, because if they share it with me, it goes into all of my Google documents and then I can't find it. Right now, they know what to expect. I feel like they're doing well, and some of them are liking the learning at home because they can get done with it faster. And some of them would rather be in the classroom.
For second grade, I was very leery, and it was a big learning curve the first 2 weeks for me because I'm not techie. But all in all, I think it's going really well. My meetups on Tuesday, my first Zoom of the week, I have 24 to 26 out of my 29 students there. A few of my strugglers are taking me up on tutoring. So that's going really well. I've had to do about 3 motivational talks, Zooms, with a few students who just aren't motivated to do their work, but they're second graders. So, but all in all, it's going well. The students seem happy, and we play some games on our first Zoom session and do collaborative stories and try to laugh. And I try to get a feel for how they're feeling. I always have a question, like, tell me one word on how you're feeling right now, so I can kind of see how they're handling it.
And have the other staff members, other teachers kind of had similar experience? Have you heard of anyone who's like really struggled with their class?
I think that our specials teachers are struggling a little bit with getting their technology to work right. I think we've worked through a lot of those issues, hopefully this week. But it's been a little bit of a concern about the numbers of students that are actually participating in those, because they've been advertised throughout the district as the specials being optional, and they technically started just this week after everybody's been working with kiddos for a couple of weeks. So it'll take a little bit, and we're hoping that more and more students will start participating and joining in those sessions.
I think one of the positive things too about what Eagle Academy is doing is that the majority of our teachers are filming our lessons and uploading them to Google Classroom. So students have the opportunity to watch those whenever is good for their family, because parents are working from home, where, you know, the superintendent came out and said, let's just do supplemental because of equity. And I know a lot of our teachers, I mean, not that we're doing full lessons like we would be teaching in class, but we are able to help the students and the parents keep the kids, you know, keep them busy. They are, you know, still have that opportunity to learn, which I think has been a saving grace for a lot of parents.
Yeah, I know. I really appreciate them being pre-recorded to have them. My kids don't want to watch them anyway, but I can't work from home all day and manage them getting on Zooms, you know, every 2 hours. I just can't. So that's probably why you see specials attendance low, because that's my lower priority. If they want to do it, I'll help them get on it, but I'm not going to force them to get on it when, I have my own Zoom meeting or I have a payroll deadline. And I know I'm not the only one that has that.
And is that up to each of the teachers if they choose to do that, I'm assuming?
If they choose to record their instruction,
Mhm.
yes, that is, so we had some general, I think, enthusiasm by teachers to put that on, because it does add a sense of normalcy for what students would be seeing in the classroom with their teachers. And then we got thrown a really big curveball by the district with the modality in which we can push those out. And so some people kind of had to take a step back and relearn a new technology to be able to record their videos and put them online. But I've watched several of them, and I really kind of feel like I'm walking into their classroom. If I close my eyes, and even if I looked at the board, it looks like what the students would see on that 75-inch television. So I think we only have one teacher that hasn't recorded any videos, but that teacher's Zoom sessions are very well attended.
Mhm. So is that something that we should be pushing the specials a little bit more now to try to get people to join them? Because I know that there has been a lot of technological issues that we've tried to join some of them and it just doesn't work. And then also, is there a technology special going as well, or is there not technology?
There is a technology special, and all of the links for that are in the specials Google Classroom. So all of the specials got together and created their own a one-stop shop Google Classroom for all of the specials. So I think that one of the downsides of that is that there's so many things posted in there that families may have missed where some of those links and connections are.
Well, I guess I meant, is there a Zoom class for the technology special that should be happening twice weekly? Or is it just the assignments that are in that Google Classroom?
Well, there's the expectation for those sessions to be going on to. It's just that those links have been in the Google Classroom on how kids can connect to them.
So for me, because I send my kids to your Google spreadsheet and technology doesn't have a link to it. All of the others do. Now, whether or not they all work, I don't know if they've all been updated with all the password information and new classroom join, but technology does not have a link.
Okay. I'll go
one to happen.
I'll work with Scott to make sure that is up and running.
Can you do a new sheet of that for anyone whose classroom, like the links have changed or anything? Because the Facebook page has been seeing a lot of people say, I can't get into art, the link doesn't work. I can't get into PE, the link doesn't work. Does anyone have the passcode?
Part of the issue is early last week, we had everything going, and so that's real time updated. So the links on there are the most current ones, but Mrs. Murphy and Mrs. Harpole have had some problems because they have their own private Zoom account with sessions, and for some reason when the teachers are logging on, and I think that Lynette got hers fixed, and Robin hopefully talked with IT today. Even though they start out at the correct asdk12.zoom.us, when they click on their Zoom applications on their computers have been taking them to the zoom.com area where they're opening up a different session than what our kids are seeing. So they music got that fixed. I haven't tested that with Robin today, I'll try logging on with her in the morning tomorrow because she has, I think, one on Friday at 9.
Right.
Yep. So anytime that there is a change, that is the place to go to. Because the teachers are updating their links there, and that is the latest greatest.
And if
Yes.
you recall, Scott was not able to set up a link because he's not an ASD employee and does not have an ASD email account.
He
So
does have an
was-
ASD email account.
He does?
Yes.
Because he was saying he wasn't able to set up a Google Classroom to do all that because he doesn't have the credentials or something, because he's just a sub.
Well, he's a long-term sub, and so they should have been, I'll talk with him tomorrow and make sure that they get him his credentials fixed.
So when we log in for a Zoom, does it matter if we do zoom.us or zoom.com or whatever it is as the parents?
It shouldn't matter for parents or students when they're logging in.
And I'll just throw out a parent appreciation for the tape sessions, because it's particularly in art, we have the ability to pause it and work a little bit and then keep going and then pause it. So it's been I actually really appreciate the videotaped ones.
I did get a request from elementary and secondary education earlier this week for, they asked any principals if we had any examples of videotape sessions going on. And so I asked, I think 4 of the teachers if it was okay for me to pull down a couple of their videos and send that off. The school board is really interested to see how instruction is going and in what areas, our teachers are working in. So I did that yesterday, and we'll see, what comes of that. So I think we're, for a school that is very back to basics and standards based, and not having a lot of the frills and technology, I feel like our teachers are light years away from other schools and what they're struggling with at this point.
And I've appreciated, go ahead.
I said in a good way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I've appreciated, just from the perspective of having students in different schools, that we're still able to stay true to our curriculum, our standard, our charter, our purpose. Because I know my daughter in high school, the teachers there had to abandon all of their planned lessons for the rest of the year, and they are all across the whole district doing the same curriculum, which the teachers have no control over because it's all on Canvas. So it's essentially they're all doing those online classes, which Rachel is familiar with because she did the online pre-algebra class, which she says she hates the Canvas format, but that's what they're using. And they just have office hours, so she doesn't feel the need to go to any of those because the teachers aren't really teaching anything. It's just to go if they have a question. So I appreciate that our kids are still able to interact with the teachers. They're able to still do teaching to the students. I don't know if you're finding that at all of your Zoom meetings throughout the week, if you're having students attend. I know that, like Thomas has said, I don't have any questions at Mom, so I go Monday, but if I don't have questions, then I don't have to go the rest of the week. Or if you would prefer that they attend all of them, if you're still doing instruction at those besides just answering questions.
I don't know about everybody else, but I really want them there at my meetup, that first session, and that's where I have the majority. But I do have parents, like I said, working from home, and they just absolutely can't have their kids come to the meetup. So they try to come to one of the other sessions. My other 2 sessions, I maybe have a handful of kids, and those are the ones who either just really need to talk and be social with other students or with me. And then I have specific tutor times for specific kids. But like my other Zoom sessions, I have maybe 5 or 6 kids that come because everybody's doing fine. So.
And that's what I have too. I have probably 20 out of my, 27 students that come on my Monday meetups where I go over everything, show them what they need to do. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have a handful that will check in and ask questions. Stacy does 2 tutoring groups, Monday through Thursday, with some of our struggling math students. And those are going really well. So, and then whatever I want them to learn, I just do videos. That way they can watch the video at a time that's good for them, and they can stop it and pause it and rewind it and watch it again and whatever to learn the material.
And then my last question about all this is probably not one that you can answer, but have you heard anything about the end of the year plans? Like if things, like the governor is starting to try to open things up, if we might be able to have like an end of the year gathering if things are allowed, even if we can't, if we're not doing school.
I think that people are hopeful that the state will continue to see sort of a flat line of cases and new cases. And so if that happens between now and the end of May, there is some possibility of the potential of having small groups come in, and maybe not, the entire school, but the possibility of maybe each classroom having some time where kids can come in and do a small activity or something like that, depending on what the social distancing expectations are going to be. People are kind of crossing their fingers for that, but I think quietly people are just doubtful. The commissioner did mention at his, he does it every Wednesday session for principals, and then I think he does one sometime for superintendents, but you can, I jumped on a couple of them, and he's even alluded to the fact that, we may be seeing education like this in the fall.
Wow. Well, I think for there to be some closure, if we're not able to open up, I think it, and I don't know that this is APB or whatever, but I think it would be nice if we were able to, I'm sure you've seen some of the drive-by things that if we said, if we could use the community cabinet parking lot and just have staff members stationed distantly around the parking lot and just have families drive by so the kids can all just wave as they go by at the end if we're not able to meet or something like that, for there to be some kind of a closure, but to still celebrate kind of the end or something like that.
And so that church right there did that ACM church. I noticed when we were driving by, they had everybody out there with big signs. It was for Easter, I guess, and they were giving out hot dogs and balloons or whatever, but that's exactly what it was. Through their parking lot, you just drove and did this little, so possibly it's already sanctioned and there's been an example. So that's a really good idea.
I know we're still a month and a half, a month away from that, but I don't know, just something to throw out there to keep in mind, maybe.
And possibly hand out yearbooks.
Yeah. We'll see. I think that there's a good chance that we will be able to do something at this particular moment. The direction and the directive has been to make sure that our teachers know that we shouldn't be going door to door and dropping things off for students. or encouraging any drive-by parades and things like that. Since there's the hunker down, and I think as the governor starts to release more and more of the types of businesses and activities that can start operating again, that will potentially have the opportunity for some sort of maybe set up like what you talked about. And as soon as we get the go ahead, I'll broadcast that out to you guys. And so in the meantime, whatever ideas you're dreaming up in your head, feel free to send them my way.
Okay, any other questions on the principal's report?
I have a question, not on there, but kind of what we're talking about. Deanne, should I just not start the greenhouse this year?
I don't know what does that entail?
It will entail, I can't do it by myself. So it will entail doing a schedule like I did last summer of parents coming and watering, but it's usually just one family at a time. And
Get out of here, you have no clothes.
You might want to mute, Vanessa.
I didn't expect you to come right here.
Well, I mean, if it's possible, we might, we could say that parents have to bring their own watering jugs if you're watering for that week, so that we're not sharing. But I didn't know if I should just abandon the idea or go forth with it.
Well, I think if we can come up with a schedule and a protocol for who's there and what the expectation is as far as disinfecting and sanitizing and whatever is going to be safe for the plants, that might be something we can really take a look at. If our students look forward to growing and planting plants, I don't see that we'll have any problems. I think most of our families are very responsible, and the ones that are going to want to participate want to make sure that their health and safety is taken care of, as well as the rest of our other families.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions on that or anything on the principal's report? All right, moving on to the Special Standards Committee. I think we're still waiting on PE standards. Understandable with everything that's been going on.
They were on my desk. I had like 2 left to type up, and then I had to rearrange, and I have not been able to put my hands on them yet. So I am hoping to get that done this week and then send that out to everyone so that everyone can look at it. And then I assume that we would just need to do another Zoom meeting that we'd have to post again and do this whole same with the live channel and stuff.
Yep. All right. Let's see here.
And then just out of curiosity, because we had on the last minutes, Mindy had said that she was going to work with Lynette. I don't know if that was able to happen before all of this craziness went in or not.
No, I was gonna start on it after spring break, and everything kind of came down, and now I'm focused on the blue ribbon school stuff. So I hope to get started on it just as soon as I finish this up.
No worries.
All right, on to old business. Insurance. I'm gonna let you talk about that, Deanne.
But
I included the draft copy of all of the paperwork, except for the Excel spreadsheet that I have to submit with my principal's report. So if you've had a chance to take a look at that, it's a lot of paperwork, but fortunately not super complicated. So I'm hoping to get that in before April 24th also, so that we can get, I think that there is a little bit of a discount, or we could qualify for some really huge gift card.
Oh, I see that on there.
Yeah.
To clarify on that, when you turn that in, is that just for them to give us back a quote?
Yes.
Okay. Because like I had told you when you asked if I knew anything about it, I've never seen this paperwork before. So I'm guessing nobody else has seen this paperwork before either. Usually we just get like the cost back and then we vote on that.
So I was able to track down the lady at APEI was able to send me last year's application. So Kitty's been filling them out and submitting them. And then I've actually been texting back and forth with Kitty. She's been very good about sharing information on where to find some things in her office where it used to be, or on a thumb drive, or just off the top of her head what the information was. So I really appreciate the fact that she is probably sitting on a beach in Hawaii, enjoying herself a little bit right now,
On the
but
beach, they're closed.
well, she is in Hawaii, and she'll be back, I think, in Alaska in a week or two. But so she helped me out a little bit with some of the weird questions that they had. You know, like, do we employ underwater divers, and do they have scuba certifications and things like that? So that's where that.
People are being loud in my house, though, and I told them to be quiet.
The only information I'm waiting on now is from accounting, actually. OMB needs to get me our final numbers for what our costs are going to be for all of our employees. So what our payroll looks like for the rest of the year. So once I get that from Natalia, then I'll submit that to APEI, and then we can wait on our quote.
And this is the new company, right? That we were looking at trying to get a quote to see if it would be better than who we had been gone, who had raised our rate.
I think that they're looking at they're going to send out all of that information to 2 people, and then whoever comes back with the best offer.
Who they're going to send, who's sending it out to 2 people?
APEI. So APEI works with who is the I think our current carrier is Risk. But there's also a
I think our broker is Risk. I don't think the carrier is Risk. Yeah, because we used to use Risk at work, but they were not the carrier. They were just the broker.
So Risk is the broker, but they're going to be sending this out to 2 different ones. And there's only 2 entities that in the state of Alaska, I think, that insure school districts and the municipality. So one is the one that Frontier Charter School uses, and their rates were already double what we were paying. So I'm going to venture to guess both of them are going to come back pretty similar. We're not going to, I mean, I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that we're not going to go back to what our insurance rates used to look like.
Okay.
So, but if they do come back a lot lower, then we can celebrate.
So APEI is
Alaska Public Entity Insurance.
But is that like a broker or
Risk is the broker.
Risk is a broker and APEI is what entity?
It is the insurance
Carrier.
entity. Yep.
Okay.
And it's RISQ.
Good to know. Thanks.
Any other questions on insurance?
We have one about our current insurance.
Okay. Wait, did you say you
Deb-
have one? Sorry, you're like super quiet.
Oh, yeah, I have one about, can you hear me now?
A little
I need to
better.
get closer. Okay. I have one about our current insurance and because we don't have kids at school, is the district going to refund any amounts from the remainder of the year since we've been out?
We're not insured through the district.
I thought we had to have the same one, but yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Move
So
it further
it's
away.
just different. So they're not necessarily insuring our building. They're insuring our employees and the work that the employees do with students. And it could be that because there may be less claims, although we did have one workman's comp claim come through since the closure has started. And I don't know, that's working through the district's risk management office right now to see if they're gonna work with the employee on the claim or what's actually being claimed. It could be like the auto insurance companies now are giving some discounts back to people. So that's a possibility, but I haven't heard anything through the grapevine as far as what the plans are for that.
Okay, I just thought was curious.
All right. Any other questions on insurance? All right. Moving on to review policies and procedures manual. I haven't touched that either because of all the craziness, but I will. And now we really don't need it until the beginning of the school year. Lease renewal. Deanne is working on an agreement with Sean. I can send you all a copy. It's not a final copy though. So it's just to extend it for a year because she was working with him on if he had any other spaces available for expansion or, keeping the same size, but better facility, room for playground. So this is a year extension that would include inspection of the HVAC to get actually certified and replace the flooring in all 4 of the bathrooms and the normal 1% increase, which is part of our original lease. But I did look at the numbers and I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm not exactly sure where he's getting his numbers from. They're close though. So it would be an increase to $28,669.27 is what he's saying for the months that we are in school session, and because it includes janitorial, and then $24,656.56 for the 2 summer months where there is not janitorial.
Can you say that first number again?
$28,669.27. And we will have to all vote on this once we get confirmed numbers from him to approve the extension and the price.
So you said HVAC inspection, replaced flooring in bathrooms, and a 1% increase, which was a normal amount.
Yes.
He shouldn't be incurring any costs right now for janitorial. So for March, April, and May. But he did mention in our emails, and also he's probably saving a ton of money on electric, water, and heat. But I believe that we might be the only tenants in the building that are paying our rent right now. All the other businesses are closed. And every time I drive through there or stop by the school to get something or do something, the parking lot is totally empty. So while we have the ability to honor our lease payments, I don't believe that the other vendors are doing the same.
Any questions on that?
Oh, I will just throw out there that SBS is closing. I don't
Closed.
know, or is closed, yes. I don't know what that whole area has planned, if the building is going to be up for lease or demolishing or whatever, but they do have a very large yard area. So,
And upper yard area.
yeah. So just something to put out there, perhaps.
My husband said I think he looked it up, and Eklutna Inc. owns that property.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, it'll be interesting if Sponard Builder Supply couldn't afford to pay the lease.
I don't think they couldn't afford to pay the lease. I think their store just wasn't profitable, so they just closed it.
Yeah. It wasn't enough for them to actually want to incur the cost of the lease.
Yes.
So I wonder what the possibilities are. Does anyone want to direct me to make phone calls?
Sure, if you want. It's an option.
And is this for something that we're looking at for 21, 22?
I think it would just depend on how soon, because it would need a lot of interior remodel and even outdoor if we wanted to put a playground, because it's just all concrete in the back.
I would venture to guess it would take us at least a month and a half, 2 months to work through a lease agreement with Eklutna and the school district before their legal department would feel comfortable allowing us to sign a lease. And most landlords aren't going to want to start doing any tenant improvements until they get some paperwork in hand that guarantees we'll be there. So, but they are, I mean, who knows?
I think it just goes with our whole objectives, the 3 objectives of looking at facilities, just kind of exploring who owns it, what their plans are, if they already have plans, or I don't know. That's just where I was kind of thinking. I don't know how our funding would be to do something like that, because obviously that would cost quite a bit.
Worth asking though.
Having the Fred Meyer liquor store right there, would that be an issue?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. And, or a pot shop. Are there any pot shops in the area?
Not yet.
Okay. There is a certain, so many feet minimum requirement, but I'll check with purchasing to see what the expectations are, but I believe the liquor store might be a barrier.
Any other lease questions? All right, moving on to the vision, mission, objectives.
Does everybody remember what they are?
They are included also in the minutes from
Prepare our children
3rd.
to become academically strong, mindful citizens who aspire to achieve their full potential.
So we did.
I said, you guys are doing great at that.
Right.
I think you weren't at the meeting that we talked about this, but we did make a motion, and it was seconded to adopt those, the vision, mission, and objectives. But
Who wasn't at that meeting?
Deanne, I think she wasn't
Oh,
at that
okay.
meeting.
But she had to leave early.
Yeah, and we didn't vote on it yet because you had said you wanted to put it out for parents to see before we voted on that. So that's kind of where that is sitting.
Oh, and just for grammatical, that vision is spelled incorrectly. There's an extra S to make it match the mission, I'm sure.
There you go.
Wow, I didn't even catch that.
Well, it's a good thing you caught it because that actually is in our application for the Blue Ribbon School. So,
Oh,
I'm sure
and
somebody would have caught it.
yes, I hope somebody would have caught that, but I'm going to change it right now.
I liked how it went with Missy on. You had your Missy on.
so I don't know if.
And that's funny that it won't even catch that in the, that must be a valid word somewhere.
So I don't know if you want us to go ahead and vote on it, or if you want to like publish it for parents to have time to give feedback on, or.
Was it published? I believe, did it go out?
I don't think so. Well, no, because we had talked about it at the March meeting and then all of this happened and.
And Deanne had to leave early from that meeting because it was staffing night, I think, that night.
Would you like me to put it on the website on the APB page or the school news page and ask for parents to give you any feedback or comments so that you can approve it at the next meeting?
Sure.
And are you still sending out trying to send out an Eagle Express once a week, or just as something comes up that you feel needs to be communicated?
Jan and I have been talking about putting another one out this week that's going to include some things, resources for parents on just overall sort of SEL type things for how to deal with students at home and, you know, people starting to get cabin fever or concerns about health and safety in general. So I can put this out, and I can also put the information out for the spring school pictures.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have that information for you by tomorrow about
Okay.
the pictures. But I just had to ask her more clarification questions.
Did they say that they sent them to the school?
No. So she had said originally that they were still going to be printed. And then she sent me back like within an hour or two of me posting that she'd gotten a phone call and they had said they weren't actually printing any of those. And then the email when I sent her yesterday and asked for clarification said, actually, it was far enough along in the process that they are printing the spring pictures, but I was unsure if that meant that people still had to call in and get the code for them to be mailed to them, or how that was working. Or I asked, is it possible that maybe those pictures could come to me and then I could try to meet up with people and do like a meet me at the parking lot if you want them, and I'll hand them to you across the way. I'll put them on the picnic table. You go pick it up or something like that. But I haven't heard back from her. She did say that because our pictures are family approval, the spring pictures and the cap and gown pictures are all printed. They're all sent to us. We send them home with the students in the springtime, and then students return whatever, either they don't want the pictures, so they return pictures, or they return payment instead of pictures. And so because we don't have people in the school to be able to do that. I don't know how that would work because she said they're still printing them. But if people want to order them, they can call in, they can get the code, and then they can order them, and then the pictures will be sent to them. I just don't know because she said they were all printed. I don't know what that means. However, sad news for the cap and gown pictures, and she specifically mentioned the 6th grade. She didn't say kindergarten as well. I'm assuming it's the same information for both, that because they are family approval, I don't believe those ones were being printed. And so I was asking her at this time, she said, and so I said, so if they call in and they get a code, they can't call in and order those to be printed. And that's what I'm waiting back from her. If those will be printed later, or if people can still order them to be printed, or if it's all just up in the air right now.
Do they not have any sort of online digital catalog where we send the links out to the family and you go through and look at your kids and say, I'll take it?
In the fall, the way we do pictures in the fall, they can do it that way. But because of the way that our pictures are set up, because in the fall we do the portraits with the uniforms and people order the pictures from the proof, they can do it that way. Because
Okay.
these spring ones are, they send you the whole package. You take what you want from the package and then send either payment or the pictures back in. It doesn't work that way because they were just printing everybody's pictures. So it wasn't that there was a proof for any of these pictures necessarily. So it's just the way that we do it differently, because our spring pictures tend to be not uniform, and so a little bit more expressive for the students. This was a package that we've been doing for years so that it would work this way, so that it didn't, I don't remember all of the specifics, but that's why it is this way for the spring and not for the fall.
Girl, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have a hard time not having my 6th grade graduation pictures.
I know, and those little kindergarten graduation pictures. So she left it as though they're not being printed at this time, which is why I was asking for clarification from her. Does that mean that people can't order them, or they're not going to be printed, or I don't know.
It just seems to me that it's 2020 and they should have some way for us to go, yeah, I'll take them and move on. I mean, it's just really odd.
Well, part of this is that they are one of those businesses that have been cut back. And so the printing plant is down in Phoenix, I believe, Mesa area. And they don't have full staff now. So things that were on track to be printed and stuff were being done. Other stuff got halted and weren't being done. And so that's why she told me that they weren't being done at all, the spring pictures, but then that they were. So I just need more clarification from her, and I'm hoping that I'll get it tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'll hold the newsletter off until I get an email from you with what you want me to post in there.
Okay, thanks. If I don't hear from her by noon tomorrow, I'll call her.
Okay. Hopefully we can convince them to print our 26 kindergarteners and 22 6th graders.
Or at least find a way to put them online for parents to order. I mean,
or at least give us the digital proof so that we can do it.
Right. At Walgreens or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, but if they did send that out, what the district is doing now is they actually are having all the mail collected from the different post offices. So, our Eagle River post office, they send a truck from the warehouse to grab all the mail from Chugiak, Eagle River, and Greening, Mirror Lake, and then take those to the warehouse, and they're holding all our mail until whenever we can get back.
And that's why I asked her if she could send it to me instead, and then I could try to touch base with families, because I knew that we have a military community, and right now they're kind of on hold, but that there could be people that are leaving that wouldn't be able to get them if we had to wait till the fall.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean I can't try to go down there or have them try to find the box, but I can't imagine the warehouse with all of the schools right now and how organized that might be.
All right, so that kind of came off of vision and missions and objective. Anything else under that one? All right.
So on Deanne's slide that she had there, it was just the vision and the mission, but I had included also the objectives of after school activities, character instruction, and facilities. So will you just make sure to include that as well? Thanks.
On to staffing for 2020-2021. Just left that on here in case you had any update.
So the district is going to hold staffing, and they've allowed principals or told principals to post any positions. Would you, we do have our long-term sub in here for this school year for the technology position. Do you want me to advertise to go through staffing?
And does that mean we have to take a current
We were-
ASD employee?
We were just holding it until the fall before, weren't we?
Mhm.
Isn't that what we discussed before?
Yes, I think that's what we decided would be to the interest of our school.
Okay.
I don't understand why we would want to wait till August or September, why we wouldn't want to put it out there now.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, well, I'm asking anybody.
Okay.
I mean, I understand why we took it off the table when we did, because we had the 4 and then nobody wanted it. But I mean, right now is the time when people are thinking about transferring and moving. And I mean, there may be somebody that wants a part-time job. 0.3.
It's possible.
I don't know.
If we kept it open now, then we would, and there was a displaced teacher that was offered the position, then they would have to accept that or not be able to keep on the hiring list, staffing list. I don't know how that is. Is that correct?
Staffing goes through, they go through displaced teachers first. Then they go through return from leave. And then transfers. So if we do advertise now, we'd have to go through our interview process to see if anybody is actually interested in applying for that position. But we would not be able to hire anybody outside of the school district. Staffing is for in-district AEA employees only.
I thought with staffing, we wouldn't even get to interview.
You always want to interview, because what will happen and how it works is then somebody would be able to apply for and transfer into our position. But we'd want to be ready to hire somebody who's actually interested in our school and somebody who we are interested in having at our school. But that is the third step in the process. They go through displacements first because they have to honor they have to provide positions for those teachers. And the thought right now is there were all of those elementary health teachers that were going to be displaced with the new turnaround in what's going on with the budget. I believe that the state is going to allow school districts to use some of the COVID stimulus funding packages to retain the current core of teachers. So they may be hiring back, depending on how all of that funding works through the Federal Department of Education and the State Department of Education funds to retain all of those teachers. But that doesn't mean that the district was that all of the teachers will be coming back, because even with the health teachers being displaced, with what the budget looked like and the huge deficit, there were going to be displacements all over the district. I know Polaris, I think, was losing 3 or 4 teachers in their school before all of this happened. So there is a list of displaced teachers out there. I do actually have a list of teachers who are interested in transferring to Eagle Academy. There's about 4 of them. So if you would like me to open up that position, I can let Darryl know that we do have a position. They'll open that up, and then we'll have to go to staffing and see what happens.
I thought
So
we discussed this in the last meeting. Didn't we go through all of this?
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
Right. And we came to an agreement, I thought.
So the teachers, you say that there are 4 interested in our school. Is that for full-time classroom teachers?
Yes.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be interested in a 0.3. If you're displaced, having a position is better than having no position, because if you do not get placed and you have a break of service, you lose all of your sick leave. That bank, even if it's just for 1 day, that bank goes away. And so if you've banked, 100 days of sick leave, it sometimes is a gamble.
And would we be the ones that would be offering the position, or would that come from ASD?
If that position is still open after the displacements and return from leave, then we can, if the person is actually in the pool, I can actually offer that person a position.
But like with the displaced teachers, they would see that it was open, and like all the displaced teachers everywhere could put in for every single open position.
Mhm.
And then if there were all of those there and we interviewed them and felt that they were not a good fit for our school, could we turn that, say we don't want this teacher, they're not a good fit, or would we have to offer it to one of those teachers?
So if we go through our position and we find somebody that's on the displaced list that we like, we can pick them up. If we don't have somebody on the displaced list that we like, our position remains open. And after that round, the district will reserve the right to actually place teachers in that position. That doesn't mean that the teacher has to accept it, but it is an offer, because with your AEA contract, teachers have to actually agree to teach at charter schools. They can't just be placed. If we were Eagle River Elementary, the teacher wouldn't have a chance to say no.
But if they were offered it and then declined it, then they would lose all of that sick leave. They would lose their contract.
Not necessarily. It depends on if they were picked up from another school.
But
But
if
we
they
could
didn't have another
also-
option. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's sort of like the NFL draft. You have your combine, everybody interviews and does all, shows their skills and things. And then you have the draft. And so if, if you have a teacher out there and we want to offer them our position, but another school comes up before us and offers them that position, they could say no. But if there are 2 or 3 schools that want that teacher, what's going to happen is all of those teachers have in AppleTrack a list of schools that they want to go transfer to, and they've ranked them. And so if they choose Eagle River or Eagle Academy as their #1 choice, and there were 3 schools that wanted that teacher, we would automatically get that teacher, or the first right of refusal. But why would we do that? If we were the teacher's 3rd choice, then we might not get that teacher. And then we would be left with, okay, now what are all of the other candidates out there? Do we have anybody on our list? So principals generally go to staffing with their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th choice. And then also have to have in mind, if this would happen, Missy, I'm just going to kind of use you as an example. If you apply for a transfer and somebody picks you up, then now I have an opening that I'm going to have to try to fill during staffing. We currently don't have any of our teachers that are interested in transferring out, and I haven't had any phone calls from any of the principals saying, hey, I want to pick up one of your teachers just as a common courtesy. I'm going to let you know so that you have the option of interviewing candidates before staffing.
But principals can't just say, hey, I want Mindy Edison without me saying I want to go.
No.
But if Mindy Edison said they wanted to go, you could.
Haven't.
Right.
Clarifying. Okay. I was just like, now I was getting worried.
No, they can't pick up teachers unless the teachers have actually applied for the transfer in the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Deanne, if we would have to take somebody for that position, if we put that position out there and we had to take someone for that position, they could possibly find 0.7 hours at another school. And then that really changes our budget, because then we would be responsible for helping with their
Benefits.
Yeah. So, I mean,
And they could also find another job between now and the beginning of the year, or like you said, if they hire a bunch of teachers back, and then we could be left with nobody again.
Well, technically, I think AEA applicants have the opportunity to transfer once in a school year. So if you accept a position for next year, in order to back out of that, the principal would have to allow you to back out of that. But AEA members have until, I think, the week before school starts to actually make that decision. And depending on how upset an administrator is with someone backing out at the last minute, they could, and depending on whether or not HR wants to do that, could consider that a breach of contract and then go after the person through the Professional Teaching Practices Commission. But that is not something that, unless we feel like a candidate was really malicious in their intent, they wouldn't necessarily go after them in PTPC, because you could lose your license or get it revoked for a certain amount of time if you breach the contract in that way.
Well, I guess if we decided to wait till fall at the last meeting, we should just wait till fall. Sorry.
All right.
Open a
Anything
can
else?
of worms.
Anything else for staffing? Everyone else is staying?
I
Or they haven't told you that they're not.
Or
well, I did ask all of the teachers individually what their plans were for the fall, and that doesn't mean it can't change. But I had not had any responses as far as wanting to transfer and someone actually applying for a transfer or retiring or resigning.
All right.
Is that just teachers or all staff?
The staffing right now, it's certified teachers, not classified.
Which are TAs, right?
Yep, TAs and our admin assistant. And our nurse is actually part of AEA, so that would be the certified portion also.
All right. Any other questions? On to election committee. I emailed Daryl to ask him if it would be okay if we did an election in the fall when school starts back up and everybody has equal access to the information. And he said that should be fine as long as we all vote as a board on that.
Do I
This
need
is,
to make a motion?
this is
Wait,
the election of APB members, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you can make your motion. Well, I guess I don't have the permission, but I'm ready to write it down if you wanted to make a motion now.
Okay. I would like to make a motion that we hold elections for new officers in the fall of 2020 school year.
I'll second.
Can we make it say APB members since we're not officers?
Oh, yes.
In fall 2020. Okay, did anyone, who seconded it? Sorry.
Missy did.
Missy seconded. All right.
So then I have a question. How does that affect those of us whose position expires? Does that mean, like, because our positions are through, it's either June 1st or June 30th of the year that we are
Can you
in.
amend your motion to hold the election in fall of 2020 and extend expiring seats until that election is held?
But before you do that, let me add another caveat to all of that, because Deb's moving. So that means
Well, then
her kids are no longer enrolled in the school. So does that affect her position? And the same goes for Casey, her son, because he will be moving out. He will no longer be enrolled in our school. So does that affect anything? Does that make sense?
Well, I think if we're amending the motion to allow the extension until fall, that's okay. But also, if we were to lose the 2 seats, we would still have a quorum of people. So I think we would still be okay.
As long as we didn't have to do anything, we wouldn't have to do anything for the principal, right? Because, well, you, me, and Casey are the only ones who can do anything with the principal position, like extending.
We have to do all of that before any APB seats expire. So
okay.
So unless she leaves on us, we'll be fine.
Okay, can I ask, are you intending on getting rid of the position?
No, but we have to do like the principal evaluation, and none of the staff members can participate in that and renew the contract. So then it would just be, the 3 of us or the 2 of us, and that gets very limited.
No, that all has to be done before.
I was just worried that, if I have to go and
go to staffing, no.
Yeah, but this is where the little Frozen performance.
I have to brush off my resume and start applying for positions.
All right, so Mindy, do you want to amend your motion to extend? Do you want me to just phrase it, or you want to specify how you want to say it?
Go ahead and phrase it.
And I'll second it. Deanne, you really didn't apply for the job last year, did you? You didn't hit submit, right?
Technically, yes, and I am really embarrassed about that phone call. Did you tell anybody about that phone call?
Talk
Probably.
about it, Missy.
I know. I was gonna say I don't know that I've heard this.
She was very surprised to get the call to be invited to interview at our school because she didn't think she submitted the application.
Oh dear.
But then she decided to go ahead and take the interview.
But I was so glad Missy called, actually.
I wonder how that happened if she really didn't submit it. You must have submitted it.
No,
Right.
but I think the universe was looking out for me.
All right, so this is how the final motion reads unless we, I was trying to write it while talk was happening. So Mindy made a motion that we hold the election for new APB members in the fall of 2020 and extend current seat positions through the election in the fall.
Yes, that's what I said. Good job,
Good
Jennifer.
job.
And I'll second. Again,
Can we vote on that now, or do we have to vote on it at another meeting? I never remember if it's.
It's a
We'll
new
just vote on-
business item, so theoretically we have to introduce it this time, make a motion. We could discuss it, and then it
All
has
right.
to come back as old business at our next meeting.
but it's
I
on
believe.
it's under old business right now. But
It's old business, but
That's
a new
true.
motion.
okay.
We can just vote on it at a second one.
What does the bylaw say about the date for the APB elections?
I don't think there's dates. In March, we have to convene a committee, but there's no dates of you must hold an election by such and such date.
Okay.
Generally, before school is out, because we paper vote. But I don't think there's any like date, but
All of that's in the policy and procedure manual that Vanessa has. Right?
Somewhere.
Because
somewhere.
we haven't updated it, so the rest of us may not have the actual whatever.
You
Or
should
we do,
all-
it's just hidden somewhere. It's not.
You should all have a copy of it because it's in the charter.
It's in my binder at school.
You mean you don't bring that home with you every day? Look over during
Doesn't
spring
even bring
break?
it home after a meeting.
No, and all the stuff I had to grab, there's no way I had room for it when I was trying to get everything for teaching from home.
All right, so we can vote on that at a next meeting. And then review annual subscription renewals. This is something you were gone for by the time we got to it last time, Deanne. I don't know if you've already renewed them or not, but Discovery Education Streaming, we know the teachers use, and Music K8, we were not sure if that is used or not.
I don't believe that that Mrs. Harple uses that. Would you
Okay.
like me to ask her?
Sure.
Is it called Music K8?
I'm not sure if it is called Music K8. I thought that it got dropped a couple music teachers ago, or at least one music teacher ago. But I wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that she was using before we don't bother.
I want to say Mrs. Harry dropped it.
That's what I think too.
I don't think that it's in our current budget, but I can check with Tamara too on that.
Okay, well, that's why they're on here, because they're like extra things that aren't in the budget and we vote on them every year.
So do you want me to see if she wants to add that back on?
Or if there is a curriculum that she uses.
There should be a curriculum that she can use. So if it's not something that she uses or wants to use, then we just don't need to renew it.
I think it was on there because it was on the list of things that I
Oh,
have in my binder that I have to, that for me to put on the agendas. And so that might be why it was on there if it had been removed with the last music teacher and it just didn't get taken off that list of things I add to each agenda for the month. And on subscriptions, just out of curiosity, did ASD purchase the, what did you call it? The executive Zoom subscription, or does that come from Eagle Academy?
So all of the teachers and principals accounts are paid through ASD IT. And to my knowledge, they haven't sent us a bill for this. I think it was just part of the whole IT. The IT department is really good about including all of the charter schools and teachers in that. So it's not something that we're paying for. I think that they just got a huge district enterprise license.
Okay. And do you know, Deanne, how much the Discovery Education streaming is?
I do not.
Can we find that out before we vote on it?
Yes.
Okay.
You mean like right now?
No, we can bring
Oh,
it back
okay.
to the next one.
Okay.
All right. I think that is it for review annual subscription renewals, unless anyone else has anything for it. All right. Moving on to new business. Lottery application number review and enrollment projections. That is on Deanne's principal's report.
Any questions?
I assume everybody's been contacted and all the seats are full, so the wait list is where it is, or did that process get halted because of everything?
So for kindergarten, it has been. The seats have been filled in the wait list. We have some seats held for those kindergarteners that actually may not be transferring out. The ones that with siblings that are currently already enrolled in our school, and we do not release seats for first through sixth until we actually have withdrawal paperwork from parents. And most parents don't do that until they actually are ready to leave the state. So those waiting lists are true and accurate.
Okay.
And so Daryl's on. He's been watching our YouTube live stream, and he said we will not be getting billed for Zoom, which is what I thought, but it's kind of nice to get that confirmation.
All right, any questions on the lottery numbers? Since everyone can't see them, okay, so what is the projected column? Is that what we have enrolled right now?
It's what we expect to have enrolled in the fall.
Okay, not taken out of that wait list column or
Nope.
some numbers? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. So we have full kindergarten through fifth and 22 maybe seats in sixth. And then our wait list numbers are 19 in kindergarten, 43 for first, 26 for second and third, 32 for fourth, 30 for fifth, and 2 for sixth grade.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we've ever had that high of a wait list in our intermediate grades, have we?
Not in 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, not usually.
6th grade has 2. Woohoo! We got a waiting list.
Hey, I was on that waiting list last year and I was excited about that call from Tamra.
Yay! Me too.
Well, we have
Alright.
to do some major recruitment for 6th grade.
No, we don't.
No,
22 is a good number.
all
And
right.
usually I feel like K and 1 numbers on waiting lists are swapped. Usually there's a huge K.
Yeah, there is. Let's see. Volunteer hours update for Q3. I don't know if there's any kind of update on that, just since it kind of all happened at the same time, but
Not yet, but we should be able to get what we had through the day before spring break by our next meeting.
And then fourth quarter numbers are going to be like off the charts, right?
Well, we could use that learning from home home teaching schooling opportunities for parents to log.
yeah.
Yes.
You get to log all those hours.
So will this be the first time in history that we have 100% of our families make their 16 hours?
Oh yeah.
That is so funny.
I don't think anybody would be able to keep track of all their hours, just like I'm sure the teachers are not able to keep track of all their hours because it's so random and parts and pieces throughout the day. But I think we'll be able to count 100%.
Yeah, that's going to be something to celebrate. I think we really should try to figure out a way to show our parents some appreciation for the fact that they have been thrown into this situation like all of us, and the amazing job that a lot of them are doing and making sure that their kiddos are working at home. I mean, we have a really good group of students and parents, and I don't think any other school in the district has the amount of engagement that we have.
Probably
Now,
especially not at the elementary school level.
and I was going to say, those would be some great stats. How many people show up at your Zoom meetings?
I think that parents have a whole new appreciation for teachers too.
Are you kidding me? I was like day one. Okay. Whatever we need to do here to get Max back to class. whatever we need to do.
All right. Hiring committee, I put that on just in case we needed to form one, but it sounds like we don't need to right now, so we can add that back on whenever we need to, if anyone ends up leaving or whenever we're ready to fill the technology one. And then evaluate the professional development days. Do you know about that, Deanne?
I know that we have our professional development days. I'm not sure in the past how they've been evaluated.
Okay, so yeah, the principal usually writes a letter to, I think, Deed to request these days. We have to request them every year. So usually, I think Katie used to kind of work with the staff to come up with what do you want to focus on for these, the 3 extra half days that we have.
Okay.
And then you bring them back to the APB so that we can review the dates and the topics, and if we really feel that they're necessary, and then we vote on them so that you can request the days from Deed.
Is there a deadline for that request?
I don't remember. Daryl might know better.
Let me ask him.
Okay.
There is one of those tomorrow, by the way. So if you guys are ready, I don't know what you're doing.
They've been doing a lot of professional development in these last 2 weeks.
No, because yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I should have been on my Homer field trip.
I
Aw.
know. I should have been in Arizona.
Oh, on that Homer field trip, Mindy, I was going to tell you, so you know how I booked a hotel at Land's End for myself? Well, sadly, he said they just, so now I just told him to keep the deposit, but he said they're like going broke. They don't even have the money to pay people back all their deposits and stuff.
Oh my God.
For what it's worth, I've got, 4 nights at Land's End. At some point.
Dang, Casey.
I know, if we want to take all the kids and put them in that one room.
Yeah, no thanks. You go right ahead.
Was the professional development that was supposed to be tomorrow, though, was that to go over the science curriculum? Was that what it was supposed to be?
I never got a list of what the specific topics were going to be for the professional developments.
I think it was planned for that if we had it, but if not, then you would have filled it with something else. Trying to see if I can find an old email.
Oh, hello, Daryl.
Oh.
Oh, now we're really the Brady Bunch.
And you're in the center, Mindy.
I'm in the center. I'm in the top middle in my view.
Oh, you're the center in mine.
Oh,
I have Missy in the middle of my screen.
mine too.
Daryl, did you have was there a deadline for us to submit a waiver request, a calendar waiver request?
Hold on, I still have my YouTube going. Okay. Whew. It's like, what is all that double chatter? Yeah, so it's very weird. There's a 1 minute delay, so I know why people yell at their TVs. I know the answer to that. But I was watching Winterberry too, so I was going back and forth. So deed calendar waiver, I'm going to get the paperwork out tomorrow, I hope. I have it all ready. It's in queue. It's in line, ready to go. I'm just waiting to get permission from Dr. Stock to send it out. Usually this is around the time where I send it out. The paperwork pretty much looks the same. Do you have last year's, Deanne?
I'm sure that it's somewhere.
Yeah.
I know Kitty sent it to me to review one time, so I'm trying to see if I can find it too.
Yeah, it's no biggie. I can send you a draft. It's all ready to go. It's ready to send out. I was ready to send it out last week, but with everything going on, we thought we didn't want to give more to the principal. But talking to my direct supervisor, Kirsten, I said, I really feel a need to get this out. So I put in a request from to Dr. Stock to let me send it out tomorrow. And it's just the schools. There's only a handful of schools that ask for calendar waivers. Stellar, Polaris, Rokashula does, Aquarian does, you guys. So, but you're probably going to keep it, I would imagine, sort of the same, or are you looking at something different? Or you don't know?
No, we usually keep it the same, just the placement of the days may be different from other years.
Yeah, and usually it's just a matter of and that's part of the packet that I send out. It has the calendar for you to fill that out. So I would just right now just have an old next year's calendar out, be thinking about what days you're going to be asking for half days. I would imagine I have a copy of your last year's. I can send it to you. That'd be easy. I got it. I keep a file of all that. So, but hopefully it'll go out tomorrow. And then the deadline I set was, I think, the second week in May to get it in. Because then we have to make sure it meets all the requirements. Then we send them to deed for approval. But yours was pretty boilerplate. I don't think there was anything unusual about it.
So since this is on new business this month and it'll be on old business next month, I can meet with the teachers between now and then and come up with topics and dates. If I send that to you, would the APB be able to approve or vote on that next month?
Are you voting for what you're going to do in the training?
We vote actually just to approve the days, but usually base it on the training because I think it's written in our charter that it's not like a guaranteed 3 days. So if they were to come back and be like, we have a half day scheduled for massages, then we'd be like, yeah, we don't really need it then.
Yes, we
You need to give
do.
us a good reason that you need them.
Yeah,
Then we
that
might say,
makes
how about we
sense. That
do
makes
one
sense.
half day?
Because I was going to say, you could still get the waiver in and just kind of generically talk about what you're going to do on those days. But if it's not a guarantee, the APB will approve those days, and I get that. But we'll be fine on when's your next meeting? Next month?
When's our next one? It would be scheduled for May 5th would be our next one. So the first week in May.
So you'll be cutting it by the wire, but by then, Deanne, you'll have all the paperwork and you can kind of pre-write it up. It's pretty simple. I'll send you last year's or this year's, what you did for this year.
So yeah, it's scheduled for April 5th or May 5th.
Okay.
My wife's birthday.
So you won't be on our Zoom meeting that night?
No. Cinco de Mayo, easy to remember.
Well, we probably are still going to be in our hunker down, so.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you can take her out on a date.
I'll think of something.
Yeah, you got to think of something.
You can cook her a taco dinner, Daryl.
There you go.
And
We got plenty of tequila and margarita mix.
I was gonna say that, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we're live.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a whole one person watching right now.
No, there's two.
Oh.
Oh wait, it's me and someone else.
Yeah, it was me and you for a while. But it is now live. It will stay on YouTube. Unless you delete it.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
So that is the last agenda item. Well, the last new business item, sorry. So next is financial review. Deanne sent that out too, if you all want to pull it up.
And while we're looking at that, can I just ask for a clarification real quick? So at our next meeting, will we go into executive session to do the principal evaluation and then we'll also do the APB self-evaluation next time for our agenda?
If you want to cram it all in one meeting.
Well, I didn't know if we needed to do a special meeting for any of that or if it's all just going to be on our regular monthly meeting.
I think we'll probably have to schedule a special one before the end of the year for some stuff. Yes.
So Daryl, has the school board done an executive session where they go into a breakout room and then still have the YouTube live streaming going?
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll check with Katie Grant on that tomorrow, but our recommendation right now is just turn YouTube live off and then turn it back on. But that actually what you just said makes a lot of sense. So I'll find out. Either way, you don't want to project it over YouTube.
Well, yeah, I would like to have my an evaluation discussion in executive session.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want it broadcast on YouTube?
No, you either turn YouTube live off, just vote like you would normally, vote to go into executive session. And then when you do that, turn YouTube live off, or you could go into a breakout room, I guess. And then that would keep the channel open. and then come out, and then vote to come out, and then, yeah. Then you're back in regular session.
And with the polling, would they be able to conduct votes that way too?
What do you mean?
You
ABC
can't-
votes?
But you can't vote in
APB.
executive session.
No,
You
I mean,
don't
when you
vote-
come,
yeah.
when you come out, but any voting on topics and things, can you use the poll?
I would not recommend it. Can you or can't you? You know, we're on new ground here, right? What the school board is doing is an oral vote.
Okay.
So the either the chair or the secretary or whoever just takes a call, a roll call vote, and it's done orally. And that's what I would recommend.
Any questions for me on the budget? I did provide a drill down for the 01 counter 5400 to explain what our expendable equipment was, so that you can see that we did have to purchase 3 printers for 3 of our teachers who did not have printers to be able to work from home. And they were $45 each. We got them from Best Buy. And on there previously, we haven't moved any funds, but you had already approved the Apple TVs and the DVD players for the teachers when we purchased the 75-inch televisions. Everything else, except for the 05 counter 4250, which is buildings and ground supplies. We did have Abel Locksmith come in at the beginning when we just got back from spring break to rekey the back doors and the doors to the gyms, and we had them make keys for all of the TAs and the teachers so that we could keep the gym locked during the day, but staff would have the ability to get in and out to let kids in there. Because during our fire drills and things, it's really hard for our PE teacher to hear what's going on. And so in an active shooter situation, because it's also those double doors and you can't lock them from the inside, she would have to go out of the gym and try to lock 2 sides of those doors, get back in, and then figure out how to take care of kiddos. So I thought it would just be prudent for us to keep those doors locked so that she wouldn't have to, in an emergency, risk her health and safety to lock those doors. And then we also I purchased keys for the playground lock. And I bought a new chain because the chain that we had was just a little short with the ground shifting and things like that. So I had to extend it by a couple of links. So we have a new chain, and all of the TAs have keys to the playground lock now instead of just one on the backpack and one with Barb.
I am a little sad though that we haven't been able to see our new lights on the playground.
Hopefully we'll be back in school by November of next year.
To use the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or we can, all meet out there at 1 a.m. in July.
But it would have to be 3:30, I think, in July.
That's right.
All right. Any other questions on the financial stuff? All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I will
Um,
make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, sorry, Mindy. I'll second it. Even though I don't think I, but that's okay.
Adjourned at 7:55.
Wow, these Zoom meetings go fast.
Awesome job, everyone. It's our first actual broadcasted APB session.
Give yourselves a pat on the back.
Okay, now we can go put our pajamas back on.
What do you mean? They're still on. I just put my sweatshirt over.
I'm wearing my nice sweatshirt today.
Yes.
Hey, I washed my hair. You guys should feel privileged.
All right.
Okay, and as usual, if you have any questions or comments, or you get any feedback from parents, please feel free to send that my way. The more we can support parents and families through this situation, I think the better. And the district has a lot of resources. So if you find out that families are in need of things or things like that, I know that our community has always been really good about supporting each other.
Just for housekeeping, on the minutes, I usually put who's here, like the members that are present and the non-members that are present. So I'm going to include both you, Daryl, and you, Deanne, on the non-members present. But then I'm assuming that I'll just put that it was via Zoom and broadcast on YouTube, because I don't know who else would have been viewing, right? Is that what I do?
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a quick little screenshot of.
I would suggest one of the things that you do in your meetings is make sure you have your proper name.
Yep.
There, because it is a public document. And so the host can rename people. So just to make sure you have your full proper name on there, because it is a public document, record, whatever. So just in the future. That's it.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
guys later.
Bye. It's good to see everybody.
Have a great weekend.
You too.